In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to install a 4th gen Accord or CB7 Accord climate control into a 2nd gen CRX. I'm using the EKP project kit, DIY kit. So the kit comes with a mounting plate that you're going to glue onto the back of the Accord climate control. And it comes with the mounting tabs that are going to glue to the side. This little ring is going to go in here to be able to use your CRX knob, and this is a centering tool that you're going to use to glue this on to center it. It also comes with a plug and play harness. You don't have to deal with any of the wiring nightmare. This kit cost me about $70 shipped to my house, and I paid about $30 for the climate control at a junkyard. We're going to need I'm using a multi-tool to cut off these little things. I'll show you guys later. I have a little die grinder to sand all the areas that we're going to be gluing into. I'm using clear Gorilla epoxy, screwdriver, and yeah, let's get to it. Before we start gluing everything into the climate control, we want to make sure that the actual climate control works. So to do that, I'm going to test it on the car. To access your climate control, there are 6 screws that you have to remove the center console. So there's one down here, there's one in the back over here, there's one up here. You have to open your glove box. There's one right down here, and then 2 on this side as well. You also have to remove your shift knob, which I did already. There's also 4 screws that hold the radio. As you guys can tell, the reason why I'm replacing my climate control is because it's split in half right here. I glued on this metal plate that I bought a while back, and I've glued it on about 3 times and it just keeps falling off, so that's the reason why I'm replacing the entire thing. So the climate control is held by 3 screws in here. I'll go ahead and remove those. There's a screw down here that you have to remove as well. I went ahead and cut the wires for the light on the mixer just to get this thing out. As you guys can tell, this thing is literally falling apart. Before we start working on this thing, I want to make sure that it actually works. So I'm gonna connect the harness. So I have the plug and play harness connected to the Accord climate control, and then I'm gonna connect the harness to the CRX. The harness connected, so now let's turn on the car and see if the climate control works. Turn it on. Yes, you can hear, but the AC is blowing. The AC button works, of course. Let's switch to feel it down here. You can feel it definitely. Yes, so it works. So now that we know that it works, let's go ahead and take it off and start working on it. We're gonna cut the mounting tabs that originally were made for the Accord. So I went ahead and removed those tabs off camera. Now we're going to remove this little lip in here on each side. Okay, now we're going to remove these 3 little pieces of plastic. So you want this to be flush. So we're gonna get rid of those, but I want to disconnect. I want to take this apart so that way I don't damage it. So it's just 2 Phillips screws. There you go, and then that. So let's get rid of this thing. For the last one, make sure that you remove the wiring for the light. You don't want to cut that one off. There you go. There you go. Now I'm gonna sand it a little bit just to get rid of all this melted plastic. Also going to sand this area, scoff it up a little bit. This is where I'm gonna glue the mounting tabs for the side. So before we glue the plate on, I'm gonna wipe it with some alcohol. And now we're going to mix our epoxy. So we're going to apply the epoxy on the plate. Try not to put epoxy in this little around the circle. Alright, so we have climate control. Now we need our alignment tool. So now we're going to put it on. So you want this little indented area to be where the light connects. If you see it says side up, this is the side up of the climate control. We'll put our alignment little tool and we'll press down. So I went ahead and put some tape on it just to hold it in place for a little bit. After a few minutes, go ahead and remove the alignment tool. You don't want to leave it there, because if any glue gets inside of it, it's gonna get stuck in there. So I'm gonna remove it in a few minutes. So it's been about 15 minutes. I went ahead and removed the little alignment tool. Now I'm gonna glue the mounting tabs on the side. So I'm gonna wipe this with alcohol as well.
Glue the mounting tabs as well.
And we're gonna make some more epoxy. Okay, so with the tabs, you want the letters to be facing up with the little nipple facing out. So one on each side. So letters up. And you want these to be flush with the front. Actually, like that. So you want this to be flush with the climate control.
First, make sure they're flush.
Same thing, letters facing up. So I'm just gonna let this cure for a few hours, and I'll get back with you guys later. Alright, so it's been about 5 hours since the last clip. It's actually late at night right now. So we're gonna start putting it back together. I did notice that these little screws have a little bit of Loctite, so I'm gonna put some in there. Alright, now let's put it onto the car. Right now we're gonna remove the mixer. It's held by 2 screws. So this is the other half of the CRX control, climate control. So before we put the mixer on, I went ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on the studs that are gonna hold the mixer in place. And then let's put it on. Alright guys, so it's on. I went ahead and screwed those in. I did put a little bit of Loctite on top just to be safe. So let's go ahead and put on the harness.
Alright, just put the shield this way.
Okay, so we're running into a little problem. So the little piece of plastic that holds the mixer into the climate control broke. So that's where the screw goes in. If you guys can see a little bit of the plastic. So I think I'm just going to continue this tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of fiberglass actually, and I'm going to fiberglass the mixer into the actual climate control. Which I'm kind of glad that it happened right now, because if it didn't happen right now, it was probably going to happen eventually. This car has very stiff suspension, and it vibrates a lot, so it was bound to happen. It has nothing to do with the EKP kit. It's the actual mixer part that broke. So yeah, like I said, I'll continue this tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I went ahead and stopped at Walmart on my way back from work, and I bought these fiberglass repair kit. So it comes with the resin, I guess the hardener, fiberglass, and yeah. So let me go ahead and take off the mixer from the car, and I'll get back with you guys. Alright, so this is the mixer. So these are the two little tabs that broke. So these had the little holes where these bolts will go into, and then you will put the nuts over. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put some epoxy in here, and then I'm going to put a fiberglass and epoxy on the bottom sides. So I'm going to sand these two areas.
Just so that way we have a better chance of the fiberglass sticking.
So I'm going to do that on each side. And I'm also going to do it on the mixer. So I'm going to go ahead and tape the front face of the climate control, but before that I'm going to put the ring that came on the EKP kits. So alright, now I'm going to put the knob, the CRX knob, and I'm going to tape it to hold it in place. So what this is going to do, it's going to allow me to center the mixer whenever I glue it into the back of the climate control. Alright guys, so we have our resin mixed up. I have a few pieces of fiberglass. I wiped everything with alcohol. So I'm going to put a little bit of resin on the plate. I'm also going to put a little bit on the mixer. So it is the third day and hopefully the last day. So this is the final product. I went ahead and let this cure for about a day just to be on the safe side. So I went ahead and reinforced. So you added one more layer of fiberglass on both sides, and I also added a little bit on this side. So yeah, let's put it back in the car. put everything back together, and this is the final product. As you guys can tell, it doesn't look that bad. It almost looks OEM to me. The only issues that I have right now are the lights for the symbols don't work. So whenever it's dark outside, you can't see anything in this area, which I'll take care of it later. I've had enough of this climate control, so I'll take care of that later down the road. I spent about $120, which is not that bad, considering that we don't have a lot of options for the CRXs. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fiberglass, I would have spent less money, of course. I hope that you guys find this video helpful, and thank you for watching.